no accreditation to understand whether or not this person is an APC member or an ADC member or any other thing. And, lack of political ideologies is another thing. I mentioned it last week when I appeared up here. The ideology in the sense that people don't even know what they want, right? Because they just queue and just decide, oh, okay, this is the person that was selected for us. This is the person that you support, and let's go with it. And one of the funniest words, like the prof said, is around this consensus of a thing. I think as a sitting governor, there is no justification. You're a governor of everybody. I did not see the justification of a sitting governor deciding to say, okay, this is my preferred candidate. So automatically the whole thing moves to that particular person. And just so you know, their politicians, they invest their hard-earned resources, right, into this whole thing. What do you tell other candidates? There's a usual word that they say in the political terrain that government can absorb everybody. And I think that's the means they are trying to do. I don't think there is any form of aligning, right, with the system that the political primaries have done. And one key thing we should understand, we are still trying to convince people to understand that this system is for them, by them, with them, right? But particularly, you could not see, like, I'll give you an example. There was a primary election that was conducted here in Adamawa yesterday. And I asked someone, and the person told me that the coalition is happening, but the announcement of the result will be done at 1 a.m. Why? Because there are a lot of people gathering, like there was a lot of gathering in front of the party secretariat or the party coalition. And if you keep all these things aside, I want you to also understand there is still the crisis in the ADC of having two factions, right? So there will be two primary elections. So there will be two candidates in the election. PDP got that same issue. There will be what is called two primary elections and what have you. So there is a newest conversation of this candidate is backed by this person and this candidate is backed by this person. So that trust and belief that we need people to trust, believe the system so that people can come out and vote, right, will now have a setback, because definitely one of our major issues has always been that point of trust and belief. So the entire thing is, I think we need to be more deliberate, as political parties need to be more deliberate and need to be more systematic in building that form of trust, belief, understanding, and perception to people, because what you do in primary election sort of affect the level of secondary election. And maybe because you don't go to court, there are some laid down procedures with the political parties, appeal committees, and what have you. But you and I know the appeal committees might not do anything regarding whether someone is aggrieved or something. The only thing is they listen, you get. But I think the prayers will be, we need to improve. We need to change, like our Electoral Act has been changing from 2000 till this moment. I don't think there is any form of act that we've had that has gone that level of amendment from 2001, 2002 to 2010, 2022, and, the 2025, 2026. I think our political parties need to adopt that culture of understanding this, to be deliberate and be systematic in how they conduct their things, Yeah.
Your observation that some of the delegates you saw in APC, you also saw in ADC lining up to sort of, vote for candidates of the party. So if candidates can allegedly, be bought, what exactly is the value of the primary process itself? And are the electorates also enablers, because every time we blame the politicians, but are the electorates also enablers in this instance?
So to be honest with you, I think I will give logistics issues as one of the major things. I see no reason why if one political party is conducting its primary. So I'll give you an example. In Makama A, Damari ward of Yola South local government. That's where I witnessed that, right? APC is conducting their governorship primary election, while ADC is conducting the Senate and House of Reps primary election in the same vein, right? In the same venue. So the same people that are queuing this side is the same people that will move to the other side, right? So what am I saying? In that particular polling unit, no INEC observer or INEC monitor, and then no electoral persons from the APC were there. It's just the members of that political party that are there that decided to do the counting. And immediately after the counting, funny enough, of the APC, these same people, move to the other queue. And I also want us to understand there is what is called multidimensional form of poverty that is going round in this part of the world. So it's not a political system of ideology. It's a political system that is being foiled by level of, what can I get? Give to Caesar what the Caesar deserve, or what do you call it? So you give by this side, you collect by this side. And that's what is really good. So on the issue of enabling, each and every one of us is an enabler. Because, I mean, we all need to understand that the politics is about ideology. But we don't do ideologies anymore. If this person moved to this person, there are some people that move to political parties within 1 or 2 months, and they still have their followers move with them. What do you say to those people? The only thing I will keep saying, it is not about the challenges. It is about how deliberate and systematic we view those challenges to profile solutions. I think that's the major thing we should be considering. As people, we need to now follow what is right. And as politicians, they need to be deliberate around how they carry everybody along into the system and then make the system so that people will trust the system, believe in the system, and we will not see voter apathy in the secondary election. That's the general election, as it were.
Well, thank you very much, Halilu, for that, your submission there. We'll take a break here. When we come back, the conversation will continue. Stay with us.
Unwrap joy, unleash taste. The world needs moms. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil.
As the month of Dhul Hajj approaches, this is a special time to remember Allah and spend extra time in good deeds. This is a unique opportunity to sincerely repent, get closer to Allah, and combine acts of worship in a way that is impossible at any other time of the year. Furthermore, giving charity attracts great reward, especially in these first 10 days of Dhul Hajj. The world is facing global economic crisis with millions on brink of starvation. You can make a huge difference by supporting and sponsoring this year's Hadaya sacrificial animal to needy communities in our country. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "For every hair of the Hadaya, you receive a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." Free Hafiz scholarship programs for youth is one of our development projects. With your support, we can build conviction in the heads of Muslims individuals and reunite as community to benefit humanity. For donations to actualize these novel initiatives, Non-Violent Peace Initiative account number 1771660076, Bank Polaris Bank, or Guaranteed Trust Bank account number 0457070109. Management and
The Renewed Hope Initiative RHI presents the RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow. This national competition is in 3 categories. The household category is a tree planting competition amongst 11 frontline states in northern Nigeria. Each participating household in Adamawa, Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Sokoto, Yobe and Zamfara states will plant a minimum of 1 tree to qualify, with a video evidence of before and after the tree planting exercise. 20 million naira will be awarded to the best household. Submission deadline is 20th December 2026. Community category will see local governments, local communities, schools and NGOs reclaim and transform degraded or abandoned areas such as dump sites, landfills, parks and their likes into green, vibrant gardens, parks and eco-friendly spaces. 50 million naira would be awarded to the overall best community group. Deadline for submission is 15th July 2026. State category will have all states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, excluding Enugu State, have a chance to address the growing threats to environmental sustainability and cleanliness. States will be judged based on the number of trees planted on major roads and inner streets and how clean they are. 100 million naira will be awarded to the best performing state. Already, Enugu State has 100 million naira for being RHI's model green state due to its greenery and cleanliness. Video evidence must be submitted by participating states on or before 20th December 2026. All entries must be directed to RHI Office, State House, Abuja, or email rhi.greenchallenge@statehouse.gov.ng. RHI Green Nigeria Challenge. Go green today for a greener tomorrow.
Thanks for staying with us. You're still on to Good Morning Nigeria on the network service of the NTA. Our discussion, second discussion this morning, is still on the review of the primaries of political parties, and our guests are still here. Amsri, let's look at some of the key challenges that were identified during these primaries. To what extent would you think that money, godfatherism, and party structures influence who wins the primaries?
Absolutely. I think even going by the atmosphere here in the studio, would agree that it was a day of mourning. It was, maybe we should just be singing the dirge for democracy, because all of these factors you have mentioned, to a large extent, played a role where you talk about strongman politics, where somebody sitting in a government house somewhere decides that the will of one man should trump the will of, the majority of the electorate. And when you even look at the constitution of the electorate itself, which we've identified earlier, the lack of clarity within the political parties, which goes back to the administrative dimensions of the political parties. The political parties, should understand that they are institutions in their own right, recognized by the Constitution, and they are the vehicle par excellence for political transition. So you cannot talk about political transition within the architecture of our electoral framework without talking about the political parties. And so where the political parties fail to create the right processes and institutionalize democratic norms itself, then you can as well kiss the process goodbye. And this is what we are seeing playing out. And why this becomes painful is that this is happening at a time where democracy in Nigeria and West Africa is experiencing external challenges. We are talking about the authoritarian models of governance which is being advanced by other actors who don't believe in democracy. And so when you allow internal contradictions, the role of money, where poverty also plays a role in what Halilu was talking about earlier, where the people who lined up for ADC are the same people who line up for APC, it becomes embarrassing to a point where we can as well say that we are not getting it right. And the whole idea of democratic accountability, which should be the watchword in a democracy. That means in a democracy, somebody can, emerge from nowhere and then, espouse ideas and win power. That's, a sense of democratic accountability. Also in a democracy, somebody can get to a very lofty height politically, and if he does not deliver, he can get booted out of the system. So that is what democracy should do for us. But what we are seeing now is that, you are having, preconceived, conclusions, and you're not deepening the democratic culture in a way that people will become confident in it, and then they would embrace it overwhelmingly. But our role as, civil society actors is not just to agonize about the realities, but also to think of ways in which we can organize. And that's why we also have to speak a lot to the already marginalized demographic, the youth, the women, the people with disabilities, the people in the rural areas whose voices have been muffled, whose voices have been taken away from all of these processes. Which youth, for example, can afford, let's say 35 years, that can afford the APC presidential nomination form that stands at 100 million naira. Even the newer parties that are coming up that say they want to challenge the existing order, some of them are putting their nomination form in the range of 60 million. And so the political process has been heavily monetized and priced away from the reach of the majority of the citizens. And so this kind of process cannot stand. And we must begin to mobilize the people, sensitize the people, to get them to understand that there has to be disruption of this process, not in a violent way, but also using existing frameworks, existing networks of organization to disrupt this kind of system that is currently holding the country hostage. Because if you ask me, this is not the democracy that sweat and blood was expended for. This is not a democracy that shows that we are on the right path, especially as a country that wants to project itself as an exemplar in the international community. Very soon, when the UN Security Council will be reformed, Nigeria will want to put its foot forward. But do you want to go there with jumping from 100 to 1,000 or 700 to, this is not a good advertisement for us as a country, and we appeal to the actors to please consider the image of this country. Consider the fact that, this country is bigger than every other thing that, anybody may want to aspire to.
Yeah, Janako, I like the fact that you raised the issue of, money politics and, sort of corruption. Now, Professor Kari, are parties, indirectly encouraging corruption by making political participation so expensive that people who have the love, the interest of this country at heart, who want to contest, and bring changes to the country, cannot do that? Because if you're selling a nomination form at 100 million, come on. How do you begin to understand that?
I think it is more than that. Political participation is one of the 3 or 4 cardinal principles of democracy. Democracy operates on the basis of the more the merrier. The more people participate, the more democracy is deepened, the more it prospers, and so on. But if you shut the door up against participation, you are inevitably destroying democracy. You are violating the sacred principle of democracy, and that is exactly what is happening. Participation is being made to be very, very expensive. Actually, participation goes beyond aspiration, but aspiration is one of the major examples of participation. If more people contest for election, the credibility of the election is much higher. The credibility of the democratic process and even the country at large is higher. But a situation where you claim impossible fees, regime of impossible fees, what you are doing is plutocracy and not democracy. Plutocracy is a system only for the rich, and that is what is happening. And so the issues discussed by Mr. Ajanaku, money politics, godfathers, and party structures, they all dovetail into it. I will call them the three unholy trinity of Nigerian politics, yes, of the prevailing Nigerian politics, and they are one and the same. Money politics has been deliberately clamped on the system in order to edge out ordinary people from participating, particularly from aspiring. And the people who have done that are the so-called godfathers, who own the parties, who have taken over the parties, who decides who gets what, when, and how. They are the owners of the party. Some of them, they derive their position from authority. The presidency constitutes one of the godfathers. You cannot get to anywhere at the federal level without the presidency. Governors at the level of the state are also godfathers. And then there are influential people who are also money bags. And they have pocketed the party structure, also using money. It is only their handpicked preferred people that control the parties. And they ensure that all the other party structures have been deliberately conscripted or asphyxiated. You never hear of the National Caucus, of the State Caucus, the Board of Trustees. I'm not sure even the APC has any Board of Trustees. If it does, well, last has it made, and so on. So all the organs of the party have been taken over by these so-called godfathers through the instrumentality of money. So the convergence of these three unholy trinity are at the core of the disturbing development within our political system. And the sooner we do something about them, the better. We have to reform our parties. We have to seriously interrogate the very existence of the political parties and to do away with the undue influence of money, the undue influence of the so-called godfathers, and also democratize substantially the party structure. Otherwise, we'll only be running in cycles.
You will only be running in cycles. Well, Prof, some political analysts have argued or suggested that INEC should be given a stronger oversight powers over party primaries. Would you say that that would overstep the party autonomy?
I agree that INEC should be given more than supervisory or monitoring role. However, this can only work if the INEC itself is purged from undue influence by the very people that we are not complaining against. If the INEC is truly independent, if we can have an independent INEC, it should also be given powers to say political parties, you have heard in social places, and therefore you either ship up or you ship out. You see, but the present arrangement of selecting the leadership of INEC leaves much to be desired and may not solve the problem because the three unholy trinities are at work. They are the very people who usually foist the leadership of the INEC from the national to the Rex level, and so on and so forth. I agree, the electoral body should be given some bites. They should be able to resist some of the excesses of the political parties. But now, what the Act establishing INEC says is for them to be written. We want to do convention. You may come and observe or not. Even if INEC is not there, when some of those things happen, they cannot question them, which is not actually right. Okay. But the fear is that a substantial part of the leadership of INEC has been compromised. Some of them are card-carrying members of the ruling parties. Some of them were even former candidates. So that is the problem. So how do you now use these people to checkmate the political parties? So it is also part of the problem.
Checkmate the political parties, Professor Kyari. Let's bring Mukhtar. Mukhtar, you've been listening to the conversation here in the studio, and I can't wrap my head around some of the political statements that come from political parties that say the youth are the future of this country, and they are at the same time being sidelined, during tickets, allocation. And what do you think this will lead to? Will there be sort of voter apathy coming 2027 into 2027?
Okay, first of all, I need you, I need all of us to understand one thing. One of the major things political parties have done that it's good was having some level of discounted rates for young people, women, and then people living with disability. So it's a good thing to celebrate them for that, right? And we've seen what Not Too Young to Run bill has done, so it's a good thing to also commend the late president, may his soul rest in peace, particularly now, young people participation, or let me say youth engagement and participation in the political space is being ravaged by the amount of money politics, godfatherism, and then, that influence of different forces within the party structure. And that's why women are relegated to treasurers and financial people, while youth are relegated to the youth wing of every political party. And for me, I feel any political party that will think with the ideology of putting in a young person as a flag bearer or something, that gives that political party a leverage. Because if you look at the dynamics and the numbers we have in this country, you could see that the number of young people and women are more than the number of people that are in prof category. So the reality is we all need to understand that, these are things that we need to look at, right? That's why I said being deliberate is another thing, and being systematic is also another thing. The only thing that is hindering young people from entering this thing is the money. If you look at how much is the political form, and how much would it take you to go to a state that has 21 local government and vying for the position of a governor, 21 local government, 25 constituencies, and you're expected to move around, this thing. So, to be honest with you, now it's one of the things that hinders young people now, or that will affect 2027, because one of our major political issue or challenge has always been voter apathy, low turnout, right? And we are getting low turnout and voter apathy because of lack of trust and lack of belief. You get. So political party primaries might affect, the level of turnout in the general election, because a lot of people might be aggrieved. A lot of people might feel, what? I mean, if we're not respected during the primary election, what do you think will happen? Just take a look and see what happened, not just primary election. Look at when states electoral bodies conduct election. What do you think happened? So I think these are major challenges that if we address, it will definitely spark up some level of things. Because as a young person, when I see a young person being filled in the form or being the flag bearer, I will want to know that, okay, do you have the ideas? Do you have the vision? What's your methodology? Why can't we support you? I think that's the major thing we need to do. And from the young people perspective, I think it's now high time for us to begin to support our own, right? Our own is the way to go. I think we need to support our own so that we can run a race together and win the race together.
Thank you very much, Mukhtar, for that. But Prof has challenged the fact that that age bracket that you mentioned, he wants to challenge it.
He talk as if I was an old man. I'm middle-aged, actually. I'm in my early 50s.
So Mukhtar, please take notes. As we just begin to wind up this conversation, I'm free. Just in 1 minute, are we seeing any signs that the party are taking internal democracy seriously, or is it just business as usual?
And let me add to that, are women being left out? Because are women being left out? It's a source of concern for
Absolutely.
me.
Even in the legal framework, I believe that there has been a systematic exclusion of women because, the special seats for women bill has not been given the right level of seriousness that it deserves. And then I think when we talk about trends, we also talk about counter trends. And there were a little bit of some moments that you could say were inspiring from the fact that you had some incumbents, people who were in the National Assembly, for example, who lost out in their primaries. That shows some elements of democratic accountability, which I wish we can build on if you have a process that is well structured. And so we can't say that it's all bad news. For me, I was happy about the fact that there was an incumbent in Kwara who scored 0 in his primary because it was said that he never showed up, he didn't interface with the people while he was representing them, and so the people punished him by him scoring 0 in the primary, even though you can then argue that there was no accreditation, all the numbers, they seemed conjured and all of that. So that's one part of it. The other part where I want to beg to differ a little from, Halilu, is the part about discount for, marginalized groups. Absolutely, that for me is tokenism. And tokenism is not going to get us to where we want to be in terms of the character of participation we want to see in the process. You cannot tell me that a form costs 100 million and then you say you give me 10% discount, that brings it to 90 million, and then you say that as a key outcome that you've done something to include the youth. That absolutely would not work, and that's why...
We're going to pause you there because of time. Okay, Prof, your last bit.
In 30 seconds.
Well, finally, it's an appeal. We have not been unduly critical. We are only concerned as Nigerians. We deeply bother because of our democracy. We want our democracy to be better. We want things to be done the way they are supposed to do.
Okay, Prof.
And I remain optimistic that in spite of everything, I still believe that we can weather the storm. And it will be Uhuru at the end of the day.
Well, for me, let me say my final words. I'm pained because in my state, the only woman that was representing Borno, lost at the primaries, and it's quite painful that women, are doing that. It's painful actually.
But that's democracy.
That's democracy indeed. And okay, thank you so much, Professor Abubakar Umar Kari, Professor of Political Sociology, University of Abuja. Thank you so much for coming. I believe it's a continuing conversation until after the elections. And Ansri Ajanaku, Executive Director, Grassroots Center for Rights and Civic Orientation. Has always been a pleasure having you here in the studio. And Mukhtar Modibo Halilu, Secretary General, Follow the Money International. I hope you're following the money. Thanks so much for coming on the program. We appreciate your time, gentlemen. And that's it on Good Morning Nigeria for today. Tomorrow, another interesting topic will be discussed.
I'm Ademola Adeoye. Do have a lovely day.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Well, hello. It is great to be back with you again on Lens on Africa.
Let's zoom our lens on its political history at this moment.
Algeria did not have a centralized political structure prior to its colonization by France.
It is now time for our weekly roundup.
This is the network service of the NTA.
A significant step towards improving healthcare access and strengthening national health outcomes. The Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, or SAP SDGs, has commissioned a 100-bed Renewed Hope Specialist Hospital in Dumbin Ruga Dusen Aba Ward, Zaria, Kaduna State. The commissioning marks yet another milestone in Nigeria's ongoing efforts to enhance healthcare delivery and advance the attainment of Sustainable Development Goal 3, good health and well-being, as well as other cross-cutting goals. The state-of-the-art facility is designed to provide accessible, quality, and dignified healthcare services to residents of Kaduna State and surrounding communities. Speaking at the event, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals, Princess Adejoke Orelokpe Adefulire, described the hospital as more than just a medical facility, but a strategic intervention aimed at addressing critical gaps in healthcare access, particularly for vulnerable populations. Orelokpe Adefulire further stressed that the intervention goes beyond the infrastructure, focusing on improving health outcomes across communities. Healthcare is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Every mother deserves a safe delivery. Every child deserves a healthy start to life, no matter how far-flung our communities may be. Access to quality healthcare must not be distant from them.
This facility is a specialist hospital and is going to cater for mother and child. The mother and their children will also benefit maximally at this facility. Today, we are not merely unveiling a health facility that we are seeing. We are affirming our collective commitment to delivering quality healthcare services to the most vulnerable segment of the society. This hospital therefore represents a vital step in Nigeria's journey towards achieving Sustainable Development Goals SDG, particularly Goal 3 of the SDG, which is good health and well-being for all. This modern facilities is one of the numerous specialist hospitals that have constructed, that were commissioned and yet to be commissioned by our office to reduce maternal and infant mortality and enhance equitable access to healthcare services in our country. This Renewed Hope agenda of Mr. President speaks directly to this, and His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu recognizes the importance of the facility as we are commissioning today. This hospital is a well-built hospital, purposely built to design for promoting quality, accessible and reliable healthcare services in a safe and dignified environment. This hospital is fitted with the state-of-art equipment. This includes operating theaters, recovery rooms, private and general wards, scanning room, consultation rooms, laboratory, ultrasound machine room, vacuum extractor delivery set, and emergency cart with full complement. And this align directly to the SDG 3, which said good health and well-being for all, as well as other cost-cutting SDG. As we commission this office at the hospital today, we are reminded that healthcare is not a luxury. It is a necessity where everybody deserves a safe, mother deserves a safe delivery. Every child deserves to live a good life and deserve quality health care services. As government and as people, we must intensify our effort in promoting routine antenatal, postnatal care, strengthening skilled birth attendance, preventing mother-to-child transmission of HIV/AIDS, and ensuring that immunization coverage to protect our children at all times. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, our office has worked tirelessly to put this structure in place and to equip it 100%. We are therefore, with this commissioning, transfer this facility and all the equipment in the facility to Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital for full operation and judicial use for the people of Kuse, Abad, and Kaduna State Government. From today, I implore us all to let this hospital stand as a beacon of hope and a testament to all our collective dedication to build a healthier and more prosperous society. This hospital is just not a building. It is a promise fulfilled, a sanctuary of care, a symbol of renewed hope. And in conclusion, let me reaffirm that my office will continue to prioritize intervention with significant impact on the lives of the poor and vulnerable population of our society that ensure that no Nigeria is left behind.
The hospital is equipped with modern medical infrastructure, including fully functional operating theaters, wards, delivery sets, and advanced diagnostic equipment, positioning it as a major boost to healthcare capacity in the region. The intervention aligns with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, which places strong emphasis on people-centered development and inclusive access to essential services. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, who facilitated the project, noted that the initiative reflects the federal government's commitment to translating policy into tangible impact, especially in underserved communities where access to quality healthcare remains a challenge. This facility represents a critical investment in the health and well-being of our people. It will go a long way in reducing the burden on existing healthcare institutions and ensuring that our constituents have access to quality and affordable medical services.
This facility is a clear response to a real need. For many years, families in this area and across so many places in Kaduna State had to travel long distances to access patient medical care. That situation has placed pressure on households and delayed treatment in many cases. What we are opening today changes that. It brings closer to people and improves access in a direct and practical way. This project also holds personal significance. It reflects engagements with communities across this constituency, where the need for improved care facilities has been consistently raised. Based on those engagements, we pursue this intervention and secure the necessary support at federal level. I acknowledge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's role in making this possible through his commitment to targeted investments that respond to real needs. I also wish to commend the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals for ensuring timely delivery. Their work demonstrates that when planning, coordination, and execution align, results can be achieved within a reasonable time frame. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Zaria is a strategic location for a facility of this nature. It serves not only this city, but also a wide network of communities across Kaduna State and the Northwest. This hospital reduces referrals, ease congestions at other centers, and provides a stronger foundation for healthcare delivery in the state and the region. Across the Northwest, population growth has increased demand for services, particularly in healthcare. In many cases, existing facilities have struggled to keep up. This hospital adds capacity and improves this situation. It is one step in a broader effort to strengthen healthcare system across the country. At the national level, the House of Representatives has focused on ensuring that public spending delivers visible results. We have strengthened oversight to ensure projects are completed and put to use. It is not enough to approve funds. The outcome must be clear to the public. This facility is a testament, an example of what that approach should produce. However, work does not end with commissioning. A hospital becomes valuable when it functions well over time. It must be properly staffed, its equipment maintained, and its services reliable. I therefore urge those who will manage this facility to ensure that it meets these expectations every day. I also encourage collaboration among this hospital, local authorities, and community organizations. Public health is stronger when institutions work together. Outreach, awareness, and preventive care must complement treatment. That is how the full benefit of this facility will be realized. This project indeed fully aligns with the broader direction of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, which emphasizes improving healthcare, expanding access, and strengthening systems. What we see here is one part of that wider effort. As we approach another electoral cycle, our choice should be guided by evidence, not promises. This hospital is evidence. It shows what can be delivered when leadership is focused and consistent.
In his remarks, the Kaduna State Governor, Senator Uba Sani, CON, commended the federal government and OSAP SDGs for the intervention, describing it as timely and impactful. This hospital will greatly strengthen our healthcare system in Kaduna State. It complements our efforts to expand access to quality healthcare and improve the well-being of our citizens, the governor said. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to ensuring the effective utilization and sustainability of the facility for the benefit of the people.
The commissioning of this state-of-the-art specialist hospital, 100-bed renewable specialist hospital here in Zaria. It is about reaffirming our shared commitment to humanity, improve healthcare delivery, and sustainable development. Let me begin by expressing our deep appreciation to His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GSFI, whose Renewed Hope agenda continues to provide the framework for purposeful governance across our dear nation. This agenda has strengthened collaboration between the federal government and subnational governments, enabling us to pursue reforms and deliver projects that have direct and meaningful impact on the lives of our people. This hospital stands as a testament to your vision, your commitment to your constituents, and your belief that quality health care must be within reach of every citizen. This is a landmark constituency intervention, thoughtfully conceived, strategically delivered, and profoundly impactful. Your leadership exemplifies what is possible when representation goes beyond legislation to deliver tangible, people-centered development, and Kaduna State is proud of you. I would also like to pay tribute and appreciate the Senior Special Assistant to the President of SDGs. She has been working day and night to ensure the successful completion of this very important project. We want to thank you and appreciate you. This achievement is not the end of our journey, but an important milestone in a broader and ongoing reform agenda. We remain fully committed to strengthening infrastructure, improving service delivery, and ensuring that no citizen of Kaduna State is left behind in accessing quality healthcare. Let me also take a moment to acknowledge the dedication of healthcare workers across the state. Your sacrifice, professionalism, and resilience remain the backbone of our health system. This facility is also for you, a safer, better equipped environment in which to continue serving humanity. As we commission this hospital today, we affirm our resolve to build a Kaduna State where healthcare is accessible, affordable, and reliable. We also reaffirm our position that healthcare in Kaduna State is not privilege for the few, but it is a fundamental right of every citizen of Kaduna State.
There was strong emphasis on the fundamental importance of healthcare as a basic human right. Speakers highlighted the need to ensure safe maternal care, improved child health, and equitable access to medical services across all communities.
Today is not just about unveiling a structure, it is about unveiling hope, restoring dignity, and strengthening the foundation of healthcare delivery for our dear people. This landmark project stands as a testament to visionary leadership, strategic collaboration, and unwavering commitment to human development. We openly express our profound appreciation to the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals for their impactful intervention in making this project a reality. Their dedication to advancing sustainable development through strategic investment in healthcare is highly commendable.
For health is the thread that binds every aspiration of the 2030 agenda. It is inseparable from education, from productivity, from dignity, and from peace. When a child is immunized, when a mother survives childbirth, when a community is free of preventable diseases, lives are not only saved, but a nation is built. The Renewed Hope Specialist Hospital here in Downtown Abba that we are going to commission today is a proof that a brief and mortar testimony that the governor's vision is not aspirational but operational.
To express our gratitude and delight to Mr. President through the SSA, and also especially the facilitation for this project by the Honorable Speaker, which is remarkable. We're very grateful. You can see how the entire community, the entire city of Zozo is celebrating today. I can assure you, we'll utilize this place, efficiently, and this will certainly complement what Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital is doing in other the main hospital there. So that's a big thank you to you, and also to appreciate you for this terrific project in our community.
The new hospital is expected to significantly ease pressure on existing health facilities in the state, improve service delivery, and contribute to better health indices in the region.
On behalf of Kaduna State Government and Ministry of Health, I wish to express our profound gratitude to Almighty Allah for granting us this privilege of witnessing this historic commissioning of the renewed Hope Specialist Hospital Kaduna. Today's event is not just the unveiling of a 100-bed hospital, but a bold statement of commitment to improving access to quality, affordable, and specialized healthcare services for the good people of Kaduna State. It reflects the shared vision of the federal government and Kaduna State under the renewed Hope agenda. We are grateful to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for his unwavering commitment to the strengthening of Nigeria's health system through impactful initiatives such as this. We also appreciate the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on the SDGs for their support in making this project a reality. Our appreciation goes to our own governor, Parungomna Mirona Bepara Ania, Dr. Ubasani, CON, for his relentless effort in transforming the health sector in Kaduna State. Your Excellency, your leadership continues to bring critical infrastructure, improve service delivery, and restore confidence in the healthcare system. We also thank the leadership of the National Assembly, particularly the Right Honorable Speaker, Ian Zazo. Right Honorable, we appreciate your effort for the support and collaboration in advancing healthcare development in our dear state. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to equally appreciate development partners that are here, stakeholders, health workers, and members of the community for their contribution to the successful completion of this project. As we commission this facility, we are reminded that the true value of this investment lies in the effective utilization. We therefore call on all the stakeholders to support the sustainability of this hospital and ensure it delivers the intended impact, which is saving lives, reducing physical and financial barriers, and strengthening healthcare system in our dear state.
With this development, Nigeria continues to demonstrate its commitment to building a resilient healthcare system capable of meeting the needs of its growing population as the country advances in the decade of action for the SDGs. The commissioning of the Renewed Hope Specialist Hospital in Zaria stands as a clear testament to what can be achieved through strategic leadership, collaboration, and sustained investment in critical sectors. For many residents, the facility represents not just improved access to healthcare, but renewed confidence in a system that is increasingly working to serve all.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Well, hello. It is great to be back with you again on Lens on Africa.
Let's zoom our lens on its political history at this moment.
Algeria did not have a centralized political structure prior to its colonization by France.
It is now time for our weekly roundoff of African history. Welcome to the interview segment on Lens on Africa.
Examines its relevance, the pathways to achieving it.
To sustain productivity, there must be continuity.
Where the winds whisper secret, to the sands lies the forgotten kingdom of Da'amat.
It is on this note that we conclude Lens on Africa today.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
Confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.
President Bola Tinubu set out for the three-nation trip. The first leg was to France, and then back to the continent for the Africa-France Summit 2026 in Nairobi. It was the first time France was meeting with Anglophone African countries on the platform. The previous summit involved France and Francophone African countries, and this edition marks a major shift. The summit was tagged Africa-France Summit, apparently to indicate that France is ready to put Africa first in cooperation and partnership. Nigeria's president was attending alongside other African leaders.
I think that this meeting is good because now the focus of the meeting is shifting away from just wooing investors to come to steering our own people to rise to occasion by utilizing what they already have and what they are doing. And even in this France-Africa Summit, you see that the rest of the world are here. They are here not just to observe, but also to hear about the much that African countries have in its partnership with France. Although it is a partnership with France, but it creates the opportunity for the rest of the world also to be a part of what we're doing.
Jomo Kenyatta, first Kenyan president, dropped some words on the marble. Part of them, and I quote, "Our children may learn about heroes of the past. Our task is to make ourselves architects of the future." End of quote. President Bola Tinubu was at the Kenyatta International Convention Center as Africa took a major step towards the future they want. Many other leaders on the continent also approved of the decision with their presence. 54 countries on the continent with the youngest population in the world, enormous resources and fertile land, world-class entrepreneurs and the required markets. African countries are saying enough of dependency on developed countries for development. Co-organizer President William Ruto, who spoke for the continent, says what Africa requires now is no longer charity, but partnerships and investments in a dignified manner for mutual benefits.
We must confront with honesty and urgency the question of how Africa finances its own transformation. The era in which Africa's development was principally framed through aid, dependency, and unsustainable borrowing must give way to a new paradigm grounded in investment, innovation, domestic resource mobilization, and strategic partnerships built on quality and mutual benefit. What Africa requires today, friends, is not charity, but investments. Not extraction, but value creation. Not dependency, but mutually beneficial partnerships capable of unlocking shared prosperity.
The demand for Africa representation in the United Nations Security Council has lingered for long, and President Ruto is rooting for this again.
No global governance architecture can credibly claim to be democratic, to be representative, to be just, or fit for purpose, while a substantial part of humanity remains absent from the table where the world's most consequential decisions are made.
With an earlier announcement of a $27 billion investment in the continent at this summit, President Emmanuel Macron is presenting France as a dependable ally, ready for a mutually respectful and beneficial relationship.
So what we need to do is look at the partnership that we want together through a logic of investment. And this is where we see this agenda of prosperity and sovereignty altogether. Getting Africa forward on the economic level means greater sovereignty and autonomy. It's important for Europeans as well.
Like an idea of whose time has come, this registers as a new beginning in the Africa-France partnership. The gains of a renewed relationship are much expected. Nigerian investors, including Aliko Dangote, Abdul Samad Rabiu, and their French counterparts, leveraged the Africa-France Summit to again strengthen their partnerships. It was the 10th meeting of the Nigeria-France Business Council. They recognized themselves as the driving force for a sustainable and protective partnerships between the two countries with exchange of investments across. Nigeria currently represents 7% of France's total trade in Africa and leading destination of French foreign direct investment in sub-Saharan Africa. Nigerian Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Jumoke Oduwole, said Nigeria is taking steps to lead intra-Africa trade and a more integrated continental markets, which she wants the Council to also champion. Chairman of Bua Group, Abdul Samad Rabiu, recommends 3 foundations needed for the transformation of the continent to include capital, policy integration, and value addition has been demonstrated in the Nigerian cement industry.
Value addition so that all the resources that we have here in Africa will be able to add value to them. Instead of exporting everything in their raw form, we process them here, add value, and then export. If you take cocoa, for example, I keep giving this example because it's very interesting. 4 countries in Africa, in fact West Africa, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon, they produce 75% of the total global supply of cocoa. This is a $200 billion industry annually, yet Africa gets only a fraction, maybe 10, probably 15% of that. So these are the areas that we need, to concentrate on.
The Council also commended the African House in France, initiated by President Emmanuel Macron to deepen trade relations between both countries.
What that does is, if completed, that is a venue where Africans will have the opportunity to dialogue, to connect, to collaborate, and also to build partnerships, across so many different sectors, industry, business, culture, innovation, in France, with the French people. So I think it's an important thing. We welcomed, the idea, and we are going to the African business community. We are going to fully support that project.
The Council proposes one more meeting ahead of the French president's visit to Nigeria, scheduled for October this year. President Bola Tinubu arrived in Kigali for another continental stage. It was to attend the annual Africa CEO Forum under the theme Scale of Fail, with the prospect of the largest gathering of African private sector leaders, investors, and policymakers focusing on accelerating economic transformation through shared scale, regional integration, and increased cross-border investment. The Uruguero Presidential Village was the port of call where the host president, Paul Kagame, waited to receive this special guest. Both leaders engaged in bilateral talks.
The discussions were very, very cordial. The sacrifice it is for the president to be here at this time, signifying the importance of the relationship between the two countries and why Mr. President is here today. They're both leaders in the AFCFTA. As you know, Nigeria is co-champion on digital trade. We talked about how to leverage the African Continental Free Trade Area. They talked about the importance of accelerating the pace at which we're trading. We talked about ongoing relations. Last year we entered into an air cargo corridor arrangement with Uganda Airways. We're also in talks with Rwandan Airways to see how Nigerian businesses can export more of their goods across the continent. And so those are the kinds of trading goods and trading services. We also had discussions from other colleagues, briefing both presidents, and it was a very fruitful deliberation.
President of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
President Bola Tinubu was one of the leaders selected as special guests on this stage, where about 2,800 participants gathered for issues of concern.
Gentlemen, kindly take your seats. We're about to start.
Fresh from the renewed determination in Nairobi for self-development in Africa, these leaders on another platform in Kigali are interrogating the reality on the continent.
So why is Africa always at a disadvantage?
It is a rhetorical question in view of the enormous resources, including the human capital in abundance in the region, vis-a-vis the reality of underdevelopment, backwardness, and in some cases instability in parts of the continent. While the answers may not be far-fetched, the private community is taking up the responsibility of proffering solutions.
Africa does not lack ambition. What it has lacked is coordinated execution at scale. The next decade will not be defined by detached progress, but by system-level transformation. The question is no longer whether Africa can grow. It is whether Africa can grow as one integrated economic system.
Going forward, the Africa CEOs are suggesting scaling up investment and intention to rewrite failures of the past and avoid the future ones.
The talent is here, the capital exists, the ambition in this room is undeniable. What has been missing is execution at scale. The kind of scale that turned energy into factories, factories into jobs, and local enterprises into continental champions. This decade must be the one where Africa stops exporting its potential and starts delivering its performance.
They believe Africa must rise with determination to turn around the situation with right policies, aggressive infrastructural development, and purposeful value addition to its resources for the benefit of the people of the continent and the world.
CEOs and other Africans, I think we need to give ourselves value of some kind. We can't just be people who are waiting to be ripped off by somebody who is shrewd enough and has the power to come. No, we must be able to say no.
The key word is to leverage the potential and capacity on the continent for its advantage.
President Tinubu.
When the African organized private community decided to gauge the commitment of African leaders towards continental aspirations, President of the largest economy on the continent was called to the stage. And sharing the stage with a president of another oil-producing country, President Oligui Nguema of Gabon, President Tinubu displayed his knowledge of the issues on the continent with suggestions for solution to the hindrances on the pathway to growth and development. With the private sector in Africa expressing readiness to scale up for greater prosperity, President Tinubu believes government on the continent must deliberately support them to make meaningful contribution to the overall regional growth. He assured that his administration has demonstrated this with support to investors with a ready example of a Dangote refinery.
A risk taker like a Dangote refinery must be encouraged by the government and power. What I did, support him, give him free trade zone license, support him in the effort to source the crude that is necessary. And today is the exporter, net exporter of both the PMS, aviation fuel, and other commodities.
He suggests a commodity platform which he believes will ensure trade and economic growth in the region while also emphasizing on value addition to the resources on the continent.
Now, no one can take metal out of Nigeria without adding value. No one. Gone are the days where you can excavate the dust, all the minerals, and go. No. Look around the entire continent. 54 countries. There's none of us without a particular commodity available in the country or the other. Why not start an exchange commodity platform where we can trade with one another?
President Tinubu also highlighted various transformative reforms of his administration, which he said are yielding results in the agriculture, telecommunications, infrastructure developments, among other sectors.
Removing all the bottlenecks, giving you necessary incentives for direct foreign investment into the country. This year alone, I can beat my chest that Nigeria is attracting close to $20 billion foreign direct investment. It's because unwind the bottlenecks, be efficient, be transparent, be open.
President Tinubu and his co-panelists say African leaders must rise and support their expressions with actions to grow Africa and ensure more respect for the continent on the global stage. The private sector and the continent are again interested in Nigeria, and the interest has been so particular as it comes, apparently, is in view of a common belief that the continent would be right once the giants of Africa gets its rights. President Tinubu on the continental stage again. The report of the Tinubu's administration has certainly traveled around the world. And here, the organizers are concerned about the sustainability of the reforms and perhaps to get the idea behind the reforms for others to emulate. From the subsidy removal to the harmonization of the exchange rates and the tax reforms, the president assures that his administration has been intentional about these reforms from the outset and to reset the economy.
Tax is a priority. A citizen that pays tax is a citizen, whether corporate or individual. If you are not a taxpayer, are not exempted, then you are not a citizen. I chose to use cement being produced in Nigeria, a concrete road, so that I don't have to import bitumen and, give foreign exchange to a non-productive sector of the economy. The steel being used is made in Nigeria. So my philosophy is Nigeria first.
With assurance again that the reforms are yielding results with the economy stabilized, they are interested in the next move of the Nigerian leader.
What would you do in the first 2 years of your second term?
Do more work. More challenges are there. The world won't wait for anybody. You have to continue to reset and rethink, challenge the intellectual curiosity of you as a government. The philosophy I came with in governance is believing that the hallmark of a transformative leader is the ability to take decisions, do what you do at the time it ought to be done on behalf of the people.
President Tinubu also underscores the necessity of his country cooperating with other West African countries towards addressing the security challenge in the sub-region while also maintaining its big brother role on the continent.
In ECOWAS, Nigeria is a big brother. In Africa, we are the fat lady. We must sing the tune. We must sing the right tune for others to pay attention to it. And that is what we are doing. Well,
he assures that his government will continue to support corporate bodies and other Nigerians for the overall good of the nation. As captains of industry and leaders of international financial organizations converged on Kigali, President Tinubu has also been engaging with many of them on the margins of the Africa CEO Forum. Regional President of APM Terminals, Igor van den Essen, led other executives to meet with President Tinubu and lauded the Nigerian leaders' reforms and policy directions, which he acknowledged has further strengthened investors' confidence and created renewed momentum for long-term infrastructure investments. They indicated investment interest in Apapa Seaport modernization, logistics infrastructure, and long-term private sector investments in Nigeria's maritime sector. President Tinubu welcomed the investments, emphasizing that Nigeria is repositioning itself for greater competitiveness through ongoing economic reforms and infrastructure modernization.
The APM, they are already in Nigeria. They have an agreement and contract to be there till 2031, but at that meeting they announced they're interested in investing another $600 million, and that was a very important meeting.
The Managing Director of the International Finance Corporation, IFC, Diop Mokhtar, also led his team to discuss with President Tinubu on modalities for collaboration with Nigeria in energy, housing, and livestock production. The organization proposes to immediately send a team to Nigeria to explore scalable investment structures that could unlock private capital into the sector. President Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea also visited President Tinubu, where both leaders discussed the possible areas of collaboration between both countries.
It was quite interesting that there's a lot the two countries can do together. Mr. President commended the President of Guinea for not withdrawing from ECOWAS when the pressure was much on him to do that. He was thinking about the vision for ECOWAS is something you could relate with rather than something that was put together in a hurry. And I think there's also a lot that the two countries can do together in the area of development. Some of it is to do with iron ore, and the partnership is, we're stronger together.
In another meeting with Winmin Group executives, President Tinubu called for deeper investment partnerships to unlock Nigeria's opportunities in logistics, mining, shipping, and integrated infrastructure development. After his prominent participation on the stage of the just concluded Africa CEO Forum, it was onto the stage facilitated by the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. It was for the usual interface with Nigerians in diaspora. And in the case of Rwanda, Nigerians here would get a sense of belonging with the pleasure of direct access to their president. It was an opportunity well utilized, as many of them would bear their minds with the latitude given by their leader.
I work for all these women.
They lauded the well-noticed reforms of the administration, including the improved access and renewal of international passports, as well as the stability in the nation's economy.
For the forex float, now I can send my money to Nigeria without getting scared that the money will turn to $1 tomorrow. That's based on the reforms that you've done. There could be things from it, but that's what we need to survive as a country.
But beyond that, many of them who have made their marks in various sectors across the globe are eager to give back to Nigeria.
Yes, and we can bring in investment, we can bring in the money, we can bring in the people to create what we have created here and in other places in Africa. Trust me, yes. And I come in this in the name of doing it. I'm not looking for anybody's money. I have my own money. I want to do it for my country. It is a pride to me.
Whatever is the obstacle back home, we will solve that.
Not only getting assurances of the president on their plans to give back, but also that the government is working to ensure a country to be proud of. While he demands patriotism from the citizenry, the president renews his pledge to the country and its people.
All I can promise you as a leader is that I will lead with sincerity. Regardless of tribe, religion, I don't care. What else do I promise you? Governance. Nigeria's prosperity is beginning to manifest itself. I will continue to work hard to make sure that we realize our dreams and leave a legacy of continuity, of progress, inclusiveness, and prosperity.
The community came up with really amazing ideas and innovations which Mr. President has instructed that has to be worked on. For instance, is a Nigerian who developed the sports city here in Rwanda and is willing to do something back home.
The Nigerians in the East African country promised to continue to protect the reputation of Nigeria in their sojourn abroad.
Confidence is there. Hope is back for Nigeria.
Nigeria.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Breathe in and out. This is a popular practice to open the airwaves, ease tension, and help a person relax. Now, let's try it together. Breathe in and out. How do you feel? I know the air doesn't sometimes feel as light as it should when we perform this exercise. It is even possible that you or someone around you just struggle to take in a breath. If you did struggle, then my next question is to you. Have you ever stopped to ask why breathing, something so natural, can suddenly become a daily battle? In case you are unaware, there are respiratory conditions like asthma, among other allergies, that silently affect your breathing. They limit your activities and in severe cases could be life-threatening. Not to worry, because we have got you covered. And on this episode, we will educate you on asthma and allergies. And you know, there is always something beneficial to you on our Nature's Corner. Do well to stay with us through the next half an hour. I am Salwa Kalal Ibrahim. Welcome. According to the World Health Organization, asthma affects millions of people worldwide, and Nigeria is not left out. Many cases remain undiagnosed due to limited access to healthcare and low awareness. Asthma and allergies are increasingly becoming a public health concern in Nigeria. Yet, many people still underestimate its severity. Children and young adults are particularly vulnerable, with allergies often triggering asthma attacks. I have an expert on the program with whom we shall be examining asthma and allergies, the challenges and solutions to living and managing the disease. But that will be after this timeout. Stay with us. I have with me in the studio a consultant physician and pulmonologist from the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mwanta Nehekare Paul. Thank you for taking time out to join us on Health Options, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's begin with the basics. What are asthmas and allergies, and how are they related?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. So asthma generally is defined as a group of heterogeneous disease that affects the airway, characterized by airway inflammation. And this is usually defined by the onset of some symptoms, which include wheezing, chest tightness, shortness of breath, and cough. And these symptoms, they vary in time and intensity over a period of time. And these symptoms sometimes would come and then resolve on its own, or with the use of some medications to lead to resolution of symptoms. For allergies usually they are mostly things in the environment that will cause the immune system of maybe a sufferer to start reacting. And normally, typically, the individual is not supposed to, or a normal person is not supposed to react to that stimuli. It's supposed to be harmless. But for asthmatic patients, because of the airway that is a bit responsive or very reactive to stimuli, an attack or flare-up is triggered because of the allergy. So you see that most of the sufferers, they usually would have allergies on the background that are mostly in the environment or maybe host-related. So with those, when they are in contact with those triggers or allergies within, the attack or the flare-up begins and symptoms occur. So it's related.
Okay. So now, what are the most common triggers of asthma and allergies? And like you explained, when is it the allergies that trigger asthma, or asthma triggers the allergies?
Okay, so the allergies are in the environment. They usually trigger an asthmatic attack. So allergies can be in the form of maybe pollens, dust within the environment, environmental pollution.
I know for some people, even the rains, triggers.
Yes, cold air, or the cold, depending on the weather conditions, can serve as a trigger. Then, of course, pollens, then dust, house dust mites within the environment, house dust mites, animal danders. So some pets, they have these, their furs can also be part of
like
a trigger.
And dogs, right?
Then even certain diets too. There's some diets that some people will have some allergic to nuts, peanuts, milk, wheat. Then some even preservative in some food, in canned foods and drinks, can also serve as triggers. Even stress, emotional stress, and also commonly infections. So most viral infections, flu, colds, they can serve as triggers to asthmatic attacks. So there's a lot of triggers. So, and it's usually unique to the sufferer. So they usually would know their triggers, and most times it's they are exposed to that trigger before the onset of the symptoms, the typical symptoms of the cough, breathlessness, chest tightness, and wheezing that they usually present with.
Okay. Now, why in Nigeria? Now, why are many asthma cases in Nigeria still undiagnosed or mismanaged?
Okay, so I think it just boils down to awareness, not enough awareness about the condition and about how to manage or control the condition. So a lot needs to be done in that regard. That's why, of course, these programs to sensitize the public, to draw awareness of what asthma is, and to explain the triggers and to explain how to manage asthma. So enough awareness needs to be done. Even among health workers too, we still need training and retraining of health workers on how to identify these symptoms, because there are other conditions that might mimic asthma. So a proper diagnosis needs to be made, because you can manage it very well if with the right medications.
Okay,
so
since we are talking about awareness now, to what extent do environmental factors like air pollution, I know we mentioned that earlier, but if we can re-emphasize that, such as generator fumes and dust contribute to the rise in the cases of asthma?
Okay, yes, a lot. The environmental factors are very important. So I'll just start with, for asthma, the onset of these symptoms, they occur because there's an interplay between genetics and the environmental factors. Some people can have asthma and they just have the gun, nothing will happen. But when they are exposed to the environment, you see that they start manifesting, they start having these symptoms. So you see that the environment is very important. Environmental protection, things we do to help reduce the pollution level in the environment matters a lot, especially for those that have chronic respiratory problems like asthma, because with this, the symptoms become more, and if the symptoms remain uncontrolled, it can worsen and even be life-threatening and lead to death. So environmental protection has to be on the top points, especially for those government agencies that are responsible for that. So open burning should be found at, proper waste disposal should be instituted for most of our spaces, environmental spaces. Then also we should adopt the clean energy. So instead of the generators, we can use cleaner energy, solar. We can use more cleaner energies. Now the world is going towards electric cars, reducing emissions.
Even considering the issues of global warming that is affecting everybody.
Yes, so it's something that we need to adopt a cleaner energy so that the impact on the environment will be less.
Okay.
Yes, so with that, we'll be able to have a cleaner air and better outcome for our patients.
Okay, now briefly before we take a break now, how can individuals differentiate between common allergies and more serious asthma symptoms?
Okay, so thank you very much. So for common allergies, most times they usually will just start with maybe sneezing, itching around the eyes, ears, nose, skin rashes, runny nose or nasal blockage. So those are typical allergies, and usually most times the trigger, there's something they ate or there's some exposure they had, and then they start having those symptoms. But for asthma symptoms, the symptoms, they usually are, as I said earlier, mainly for the chest tightness, wheezing, which is like noisy, whistling, breathing when they breathe, then cough, and breathlessness. And these symptoms, they vary in time and intensity. So sometimes most of the symptoms that usually occur in the early hours of the morning or at night, or when they're exposed after maybe some exercise, when they're exposed to cold air, and they start having these symptoms.
Okay.
So it's quite different from the allergies that we hear about. So these symptoms are frank symptoms, and they are symptoms that, if not well controlled, can lead to some life-threatening complications.
Okay, doctor. Now let's take a breather here. When we come back, we shall be looking at management of asthma and allergies. Join us again.
Kuka that's the name in Hausa.
That is call it Oshe.
In Yoruba.
Oshe, Igi Oshe.
Okay, so I know it's Kuka.
I am delighted to have you join us on Health Options, the program that not only tracks government policies on health.
The total cholesterol is made up of some components. The high density lipoprotein, which is the good cholesterol, the low density hypoprotein, which is the bad.
Cervical cancer, a type of cancer that develops in a woman's cervix.
There were opportunities for women to get screened for both cervical and breast cancer, maybe up to 30,000, but we'll be having figures of 5,000.
If you just tune in, the program is Health Options, and we have been talking about asthma and allergies awareness with a consultant physician and pulmonologist, Dr. Mwanta Nihekari Paul. Thanks for being there, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
Now, what role does diet, lifestyle play in managing asthma and allergies, even if it does not directly cause them?
Okay, so thank you. So, of course, lifestyle is very important. Even for most chronic conditions, we always push for lifestyle before even we go into use of medications. So, what you eat also matters a lot, because some of this food can be triggers too. Then, of course, lifestyle changes, healthy diet, exercise, keeping a healthy weight, also very important, because there are other comorbidities like obesity. Obesity is an inflammatory condition that also can be a comorbid condition, especially for asthmatics. So it's better to maintain a healthy weight. Then, of course, good hydration. Make sure that you're taking enough oral water intake, and good sleep. And just try to stay away from stress. Anything that will be a stress to you, just try and avoid stress generally.
Okay.
So lifestyle changes, then even cigarette smoking, avoid any active or passive cigarette smoking. Then environmental, how to work within your environment to avoid known triggers within the environment. Make sure the house is clean. Regularly visit the doctor, and there's a instituted plan for management of the condition of asthma. So it's very important.
Okay, now many people rely on home remedies or delay seeking medical help. How dangerous can this be?
It's dangerous because it can mask the symptoms. So you think that you are doing well, it gives you a false sense of security. And delaying the symptoms over time can also be very fatal. So I don't subscribe to use of home remedies, because some of these herbal or home remedies, you can't really quantify the amount that the individual is taking or supposed to take. It's important that you work closely with the specialist, your doctor, to institute a plan for you and follow through that plan.
Now, what are the essential medications or management strategies every asthma patient should be aware of?
Okay, so management entirely mainly is usually to symptom, to reduce, to control the symptoms, and also for risk reduction. So those are the two prongs approach that we go. And most of the time, as I said, asthma is a heterogeneous disease, so it's not a one-cap-fits-all. Asthma for Mr. A can be different from Mr. B. So it's important that the treatment is tailored to that specific patient that you are managing. According to the Global Initiative for Asthma, which is a body that helps to put evidence-based practice and management guidelines for asthma management and care. So they recommend that patients should be on an anti-inflammatory medication. So you should have an inhaled corticosteroid-containing medication. And there's a particular or recommended medication that is the recommended or preferred medication for asthma management. So instead of using separate inhaler, the medication should be in one inhaler that the patients can access and use. So that is the recommended medication. Also, we need to drive home the fact that they need to use it well. It's not just having the inhaler.
Yeah.
How can you use it? Or how do you use it? So also, during our clinics, we reinforce inhaler technique so that they are using it the right way and getting maximum benefits from it. Because studies have shown that when they are used well and regularly, the onset of trigger exacerbation or worsening symptoms will be less hospitalization or worse symptoms.
So even the inhalers we see is not a one-size-fits-all.
It's individualized. So there are some inhalers, maybe a younger patient will not use, but an older patient will use.
Okay.
So we always will structure this therapy based on the patient in front of us.
Okay.
So it's not all inhalers everybody can use. So we have to individualize care.
Okay. Now, how can schools, workplaces, and communities better support people living with asthma and allergies?
Yes, very important question, because there's a lot of stigma associated with this condition and myths concerning it. So all that we need is that there should be proper awareness, education to dispel these myths. And asthma is not a life sentence. It's not something that you say, okay, this person is going to die. With proper treatment, you can manage it and live a very strong and healthy life. Health, you understand? You'll be okay. So for schools, it's important that there's a school health program, because now we should push in that into most of our schools, our secondary schools, primary schools. There should be awareness, health education on common conditions, especially asthma, which typically affects younger children and adults too. So we should push in that awareness, health education to schools. There should be also availability of life-saving inhalers in those clinics. So every school should have a clinic with inhaler in the first aid box. And they should be able to identify the symptoms and also refer immediately when it becomes very serious, when the symptoms become very serious.
Yeah.
Then also proper ventilation in the schools. So the school environment should be well ventilated. Then also in the work environment too, it's also important that the work environment is well ventilated, protected, and also refer when it's necessary.
Okay. Now, currently, there is a growing call for better integration of respiratory care into primary health care in Nigeria. How can healthcare providers now leverage these to improve early diagnosis and treatment?
Okay, very important. Yes, because health workers, they drive this process. So by training and retraining of our health workers, like those health workers in the primary health setting, because in the rural areas where it's difficult to reach and the tools to properly diagnose the condition is not readily available. So we can train our health workers, the community health extension workers, nurses, and even doctors in those settings to identify and use maybe diagnostic tools, draw up a diagnostic tool that will help identify asthma, and then prompt referral to a center that specializes in asthma management. So also, we can also ensure that in the tertiary centers, in our general hospitals, we have the tools, like, for example, the spirometric assessment. Every center should have basic tools for making a diagnosis. Very important. Then, of course, we'll talk about increased funding for healthcare. We'll be able to leverage on this and be able to deliver excellent care to our patients. So also, we can also, these drugs has to be affordable and available. So I think the government can help in that regard to include it in our essential drug list so that most of our patients, especially in rural areas, they can be able to get this medication, which is generally life-saving. Thank you very much.
Okay, quite an interesting conversation it has been, Doctor. But we are out of time now, but it has been a pleasure having you on the program.
Thank you.
Okay, up next is Nature's Corner.
in this episode, we are talking about high blood pressure. And when you refer to high blood pressure, high sugar level comes to mind. Issues of cardiovascular accidents, cardiovascular diseases comes into mind. As we have said, the high blood pressure is a significant aspect of cardiovascular diseases that leads to a lot of heart problems. All over the world, 17.9 million people have died from cardiovascular diseases. A lot of them that have high blood pressure that will later develop to stroke, either partial stroke or complete stroke, or any form of stroke. The same high blood pressure will lead to heart enlargement as a result of lipids, triglycerides, cholesterol, blocking the various nerves, various neurons, arteries, capillaries, various pathways of the blood, as a result leading to all kinds of heart diseases. And in modern medicine, these heart diseases are they are irreversible. But to God be the glory. In our study of the herbs, which also includes what is before me, they have dual roles. They can be used for diabetes, they can also use for high blood pressure. This is the same mango leaves I've referred to earlier. All is done is to boil and drink. And God has a way of controlling these things. If your own is normal, it tends not to disturb. If you use it for sugar or high blood pressure, it tends not to affect the other ones. Then the eggplants, we use the leaves. The leaves can be used to reduce high blood pressure. So also the leaves can be used to treat cancers. That is egg leaves. Egg can be used in that manner. And I earlier explained, this is our chief of staff, bitter leaf. Bitter leaf is fantastic. Bitter leaf, water leaf, they are very, very good in the reversal of high blood pressure. Coconut water. We cannot actually display all the things we need or we use within our kitchen area. We had earlier spoken on zogele, that is oleifera, which is here. It's a superfood, it's fantastic. All you need to do is to dry it under the shade and then use the green leaves as tea or in whatever kind of mixtures you want. This is the miracle plant. In the case of blood pressure, you take it, clean it very well, and you chew it along with bitter cola or whatever. And this is the guava leaf. It can be used, either the guava fruit, you can just chew it, dry it, and use it from time to time. Or you can use the leaf along with the guava itself. It brings down high blood pressure. And then the cashew leaf is done in similar way, just like the mango leaf. It brings high blood pressure down. Then cucumber does the same thing. You can blend it, make it in smoothies or in whatever that is convenient for you, or you take it along with a salad or whatever. And then our okra is double. It can do diabetes, it can do high blood pressure. So overall, there's a very big need for the entire world, for Nigerians to learn about these simple things, but refrain from all these pizza, all these foods that they sell in the eateries, so that you protect yourself against high blood pressure, protect yourself against all other diseases around us.
We have come to the end of this week's episode of Health Options. Remember that breathing is life, yet for many, it does not come easy. So making simple lifestyle adjustment can go a long way in reducing the burden of asthma and allergies. See you again next week. I am Salwa Kalal Ibrahim.
entertainment holds a very, very big key to unlocking the potential for Africa from the economic point of view, from the reputation point of view, as one of the platforms and the tools that we have to really show the world how we want them to see and engage with our country and our continent. Our stories have always been cultivated locally and internationally, from the times of Fela Kuti, King Sunny Ade, Oliver De Coque, Orlando Owo, and whatever you, to today, in the days of Olamide and Wizkid and Thames and Burna Boy, the African story is powerful. African creativity is potent, and we continue to demonstrate that with how we utilize it locally and internationally. What we are seeing right now is that today's technology allows us to benefit more from the exploiting of that creativity, whether it's through YouTube or through Spotify or through Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I look forward to a time where we will not only participate as passengers, as minority participants in global entertainment, but where we will be mainstream, where we get to a point where we are mainstream, at the Oscars, at the Grammys, at all of that, but where we also own channels and platforms that are as mainstream, as global as what we have today. It benefits the continent commercially, it benefits us reputationally, and to be able to just encourage practitioners, policymakers, stakeholders, investors to continue to do the work to make African entertainment global.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Humanity may be likened to the various colored flowers of a garden. Every society has ways of coordinating its events, especially cultural ones. There are various aspects of cultural differences, most of them representing the same things, but done in completely different contexts. Nigeria is a country with a lot of ethnic groups, each of them varying in culture and tradition.
Our history.
Though tribes and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we do stand. The tongues are a lot, the cultures are a lot, and the things that make the cultures beautiful are a lot. Welcome to Our History. Today we'll be taking a look at that part of our culture that can be really very colorful, no matter the tribe you're from. Now, what part will we be looking at? You'll find out shortly. My name is Cordelia Obey, and I welcome you. This, Ausege, is Our History.
In Nigeria, different tribes celebrate their marriage rights in different ways. One major aspect of culture which Nigerians love a lot is dance. Nigerian cultural dances have a way of unifying the people in one way or the other, and sometimes telling stories. These stories may differ from tribe to tribe, and most often reflect on victory, beauty, honesty, love, and war.
Sound, it punctuates sounds. Music produces sound, whether voice sound in terms of singing, whether the other kinds of sounds like we produce, and we call them percussions. But the production of sounds in a rhythmical way, that is in an organized way, that is music. If it's not organized, it's noise. So also is dance. Dance is the punctuation or interpretation of those sounds or rhythms using the human body. Eleven categories under which our dances can be categorized. And these dances are masquerade, we have masquerade dances, maiden dances, coded or choreographed dances, ceremonial dances. We're talking about acrobatic dances, war dances, occupational, ritual dance, social dance, and then the elders dance. So every dances that you come across, whether in Nigeria as a cultural dance, they fall into one or two or three of these 11 categories. And then to that extent, every dance that you see, though may belong to, for instance, war, to document a particular war that happened in the history of a people, but you still saw some elements of it becoming social. Some part of it, you can still be a reminiscence of bringing in their occupational icons and nuances into it.
Birikbo is a traditional music and dance among the Ilaje, Agboi, and the Kale people in Ondo State, southwest Nigeria. Birikbo is an essential part of the way of life of the riverine people of Ondo State. History has it that this dance has been among the people for centuries.
Movement patterns themselves are done in a way that the Birikbo means going in a circle, So metaphorically speaking, therefore, Birikbo essentially talks about a complete circle of life, So even the name is talking about the people, how they see life. So nothing is lost. How they see life, the costumes are pulsed to it because normally they wear their normal kinds of danshiki, these days, but then in those days it is wrappers, that they must tie up in. And then within this, when they will, the costume themselves give this umbrellic feature that curves. So yeah, all these are, and then they turn with it. So these are parts of it that says it's a Birikbo. But essentially and philosophically speaking, it's talking about the completeness of the universe. You must be a complete person. You must have a total understanding of your universe to be called a true son of the land.
Birikbo dance is also called Amuludu by Kale people, and it is said to depict the way of life of the people of Ilaje. All societies have their peculiar dances which they pass from one generation to the other. Another unique dance among the Yorubas is the Bata dance.
Wọ́n ti mú ijó bàtà wá tí ó jẹ́ ijó gidi tí àwọn Ọ̀yọ́ bá fẹ́ ṣe ọdún Ṣàngó tàbí pé wọ́n fẹ́ bọ òòṣà ìlú wọn tàbí pé wọ́n fẹ́ jíjó ọba Aláàfin fẹ́ jó ẹ máa rí wọn máa kó bàtà síta pọnláńpọnláńpọnláńpọnláńpọnláńpọnlá wọ́n máa ṣàgbádá ẹ báyìí ọ̀dẹ̀ ń wọ bàtà jó ijó bàtà àwọn tó máa jíjó bàtà àjọ tó ní kìmínú tó ní agbára so ijó bàtà tìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá ń ṣe ọdún Ṣàngó wọ́n dẹ̀ tún máa ń ṣe ní ilẹ̀ Ọ̀tà àwọn tó bá ń ṣe ọdún eégún ijó bàtà ló máa ń sábà lò tí alágbádá ńlá bá fẹ́ jáde eégún alágbádá bàtà ló máa ń lù tí wọ́n máa fi mú eégún alágbádá ńlá jáde.
Ijó bata means bata dance. The bata dance can be performed as a part of festival or dance performance at a cultural festival. Although this dance has become a national dance, it is said to have originated from the Shango worshippers, who used the bata dance as a means of communication between them and Shango, their god.
Nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe ń pè ní ijó bàtà kì í ṣe pé torí pé wọn ò wọ bàtà lọ́ ṣe ń pè ní ijó bàtà o. Bàtà jẹ́ ìpìlẹ̀ tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ayébáyé tí adé ayé bá ijó bàtà ni. Ó yàtọ̀ sí bẹ̀m̀bẹ̀, ó yàtọ̀ sí pé kọlu sẹ́lí àdáyébá ni ijó bàtà o. Bàtà tí wọ́n fún nìyẹn kì í ṣe pé ó jẹ́ ijó kan tó ní agbára ni wọ́n ṣe ń wọ bàtà jó.
History.
Wow, I'm sure you've seen a lot of movement, right? Yes. So I chose to stay in one place because the movement is already a lot. We'll enjoy it from where I'm staying. You see the colors, costumes, movement. A lot of it we have in Africa. Nigeria is not left out. And if you may want to know, some of the movements we have in our today's hip-hop culture are from our African cultural dances. Anyway, let's see more.
Sharo dance is a popular traditional dance from the northern part of Nigeria, mainly among the Fulani and Hausa people. Sharo dance is said to be as a dance of rite of passage from adulthood to married life, where the man that is fit in the community takes the most beautiful lady as his bride.
Shoro, na Shoro de Kwalam. That's the Fulani play that. That's before. We will not be now. The very sweet. They play them gentle. They beat themselves. Yes, and I play. You can see them. They carry koboko, all this stick. They beat them body. When they see they play the dance, they build it. You see they carry the dance. The women, they follow, support them. They share money for them. Then they're happy.
Another common dance in northern Nigeria is the Kuruso dance. The Kuruso dance is a traditional athletic dance popular among the Hausa and Fulani people. Kuruso dance, which has been performed for centuries, took its name from rattling beats called Kuruso. history. The customs, traditions of the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria include their visual arts, music, attires, and language. Their cultural dances include Egedege, Abriba dance, Atilogo, and more. Atilogo dance is a traditionally spirited youth dance from the Igbo ethnic group of Nigeria. It is one of the most entertaining Igbo dance that focuses on vigorous body movement and often includes acrobatic flips and high jump. It was these high acrobatic flips that gave rise to its name, Atilogo.
Is there magic involved? Is there taboos involved? No. The truth is no. Hey, I asked this particular question to Festus Nwankwo, the founder of NTA. I said, people have been accusing you of, because there are some acrobatic displays you will see, you will say, come on, this is not ordinary. Luckily, when I was asking him this question, we were sitting in the yard, cordoned place they do rehearsal. He told me, now look at what these boys are practicing. Look at, they do it, they fall down. They try again, they continue. There is no taboo. What you see in dance, like in pocket and all this Atilogo is result of constant rehearsals and practice. Just like you see in the Chinese. When the Chinese kids from age of 6, 3, you see them, you know, tumbling, doing all those kind of stuffs. By the time they come to Olympics, it will appear as if they've got some juju, but ordinarily nothing. It's practice and the rehearsals.
It was the Atilogo dance that gave birth to another entertaining dance troupe called Mbokiti Umunze. Mbokiti Umunze is a unique cultural dance from Umunze town in Anambra State.
Mbokiti dance, from my research in 1990, started about 1964. 1964. It was a form of Atilogo dance created by a school teacher, Mr. Festus Nwankwo. He actually, it was a kind of action with him. I asked him, how did you come about this name, Mbokiti? And he said, in view of the kind of exhibitions, in view of the unique nature of the dance they do, in view of the strength they apply, what other word could have been better, if not Mbokiti, which symbolizes strength, strong, solid. Their acrobatics is unique. Is other dancers, other Atilogo dancers are trying to imitate the Mbokiti dance, but if it is not original, it is not original. Mbokiti will make human pillar that will be so long and so tall, using human beings, creating, climbing. You see from the top, very far top, you see a young boy of, say, about 9 years, somersault, lands on 2 feet. Do you get it? It's some Mbokiti that does it.
Another unique dance in Igbo land is Ohofia war dance, also called Ikbirikbiog. It is a popular war dance performed in several parts of eastern Nigeria. According to oral tradition, the ancestors of Ohofia were renowned to be mighty men of war who were always on the lookout for wars to take part in. The cultural dances displayed in this episode is a taste of the iceberg. as Nigeria is blessed with other numerous colorful cultural dances like the Swangi among the Yorubas, Ogene among the Igbos, Ekombi dance among the Efik of Calabar, to mention just a few. Cultural dance is an art form which allows other parts of the globe to better understand the country and its people. These cultural dances has reminded us of our rich cultural heritage. But how well does the younger generation know about our culture, and who is to be blamed?
Sure, the parents has a part to it, but I will want to believe strongly that much encouragement should come from the government. Do you get it? Yes. The parents have a lot of blame too, because it's so shameful that some children who are in our houses don't even know they are from this culture. They are from that culture. The way we kind of throw away our culture is going to create calamity in the future.
I'm going to blame that on my kind of people, because basically some parents decided not to take their children back to it. Parents do not still agree until their child is actually adamant and say, oh, I want to go, I want to know my origin. What is it? Why? What are you hiding? And that's all. Basically, I would not blame that on my
to want to teach us, and we as the youths, as the children, we should be open-minded to want to learn, because these days most parents, they don't even have the time to teach their children anymore. So I feel both parents and their young ones should explore and just learn new things, including their language.
The issue now is how we can bring back the glory of our cultural dances.
Competitions.
Year out,